wearing a black shirt. A threesome bride. Courtroom chaos top 5 moments.
First up, we're in the 5th District Court in Cedar City, Utah, for the sentencing of Tristan Lamoureux. Lamoureux has just pled guilty to
Sexy
killing his
beasts.
wife, Misty, following an argument in their apartment.
That's
According
the
to news
furry dating,
reports,
right?
She was shot 5 times in the head.
Jesus Christ.
When police arrived, they found Misty's body in the bathroom and Lamoureux fleeing the scene.
Fuck.
Now in court, Lamoureux sits surrounded by 4 sheriff's deputies who closely
Give
watch
some
over him.
razor and Reese teased.
Judge G. Michael Westfall calls Misty's brother, Jason Wilson, to come up to the front of the courtroom and deliver an impact statement. As he approaches the podium, Wilson shoots an intimidating stare in the direction of the defendant. But Lamoureux seems unbothered as he casually rocks back and forth in his chair. After speaking for a bit, Wilson breaks from his emotional testimony and turns his full attention to Lamoureux. Since the words don't appear to have any effect on Lamoureux, Wilson tries a different approach.
Let him beat his ass a little bit. Let him have that. I think that should be fair.
Sheriff's deputies step up as
At
Wilson
least like
begins
30
speaking
seconds
directly
of unassisted ass beating. I think that would be very cathartic.
Wilson lunges at Lamoureux, but his lawyer pushes Wilson back against the barrier. Lamoureux stands up as if he's ready to rumble, but a deputy slams him to the ground and away from the melee.
Jesus.
They're left spinning as deputies drag Wilson to the floor and restrain him.
That was one of those moments you don't get to beat his ass, I do. Give him a concussion.
In chaos, these inmates taking in the scene seem completely unfazed. Moments later, Wilson's cuffed by the deputies.
Oh, don't give me that shit.
He apologizes for his outburst, and the judge orders him removed. The deputies put the courtroom back in order, and Lamoureux returns to rocking in his chair.
And then another man comes to
According
try and
local
beat his
authorities,
ass.
Jason Wilson was not charged for the incident.
Good.
As for Tristan Lamoureux, he's eventually sentenced to 15 years to life in prison for first-degree murder.
What a punchable face, too. You really couldn't just let him get his ass beat a little bit?
In Detroit, Michigan. 25-year-old Jasmine Gordon and her 34-year-old boyfriend, Clifford Thomas, are being sentenced today for the death of Gordon's 3-year-old daughter, Jamila Smith. Thomas, who is not Jamila's father, was babysitting the girl when he claims she hit her head and stopped breathing. But authorities ruled her death a homicide, indicating the child died of multiple blunt force trauma injuries.
Jesus Christ.
Both Gordon and Thomas were found guilty of involuntary manslaughter, among other charges. Today, Gordon and
What happened to the goofy drug charges? And they, like, sometimes slap each other. These are, like, really heavy.
Twice.
She made a bad choice. A
God
real
damn.
bad choice. And to let this stranger babysit her kids, because that man was a total stranger to them kids.
Sitting just off camera in the gallery is the dead child's father, Dwayne Smith. There's only a few feet and not much else between Smith and the man convicted of killing his daughter. When he's asked to deliver an impact statement, he delivers.
No, I haven't, vegan. Oh! That was a good shot. That punch was like a gunshot right there. That was like a mantis shrimp. Again, I think 30 seconds of ass beating. If I was in charge of the justice system, that would be the first thing I'd pass.
And clearly punched Thomas in the head.
That was a great shot.
Amidst the chaos, Gordon has an emotional moment of her own.
No, I went out to dinner tonight, so I'm wearing a black shirt. Terrible idea, they'd all die. And if they die, they die. Like, if you shoot some woman 15 times in the head and you die from the court-ordered 30 seconds of ass beating, hey, that's fine. That's okay. That's the justice system working in my world. 30 seconds? They get to beat your ass.
For resisting arrest. After Thomas is taken away, a tearful Gordon makes a plea to the judge.
To be placed in jail right now after kissing my daughter for the last time. It's something I would have wished I stayed to himself. I was not interviewed with it. I was trying to forgive anybody. Never.
The tears seem to have no impact on Judge Van Houten. She sentences Gordon to 7 to 15 years for involuntary manslaughter.
He's the prime James
and
Charles
another
fan.
14 to 25
Bits Elgato.
years
Or
for
Metal Water.
first-degree child abuse.
And if they're actually innocent,
As for Dwayne Smith, Judge
well,
Van
we'd
Houten
make sure that they were
decides
confirmed
not to hold
through
the
DNA.
father
There'd obviously be rules.
for his outburst.
Wouldn't be chaos.
Next, we go all the way back to
DNA
2003.
confirmed hard
The
evidence.
murderer stood
Then
just
30
feet
seconds of
away
ass
from a
beating
devastated family
from those that were
looking for
directly
revenge.
affected.
On trial is Jerome Boggs.
Geez,
accused
appreciate the
of killing
15 gift subs,
Blister Cook
Elgato.
and his 4-year-old son, TJ. He's also facing charges of burglary
Really
and
appreciate
robbery.
it. Thank you, Elgato, and thank you for the 5 gift subs, Atticus and Prime Ghoul.
Boggs
The resub
reportedly
Real
went to
9.
the Cook home to buy marijuana. Once inside, the drug deal turned into a robbery and double murder. Boggs is in court for his arraignment.
He looks
He's
like a
pled not
young
guilty to
Elon
all
Musk.
charges. In the gallery are members of the victim's family, devastated by this horrific crime.
That does not look like a family you want to fuck with.
The judge orders Boggs held without bond, then sends him back to his cell. Just as
Damn, the whole family's coming in, but the cops are playing like some crazy defense right now.
Blister Cook's brother, Michael, charging towards the defendant. A second brother, Donald Keith, makes an attempt to get at Boggs. While officers handled that situation, a third man makes a run at Boggs.
Man, these cops are playing nutty D right now.
He slips out the back door.
They are not letting the quarterback get sacked.
Luckily for Boggs, there are several officers in the courtroom who prevent those angry family members from getting to Boggs. He's later found guilty of all charges and sentenced to life in prison with no chance for parole. Now we head to Cleveland, Ohio, to the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court for the sentencing of convicted serial killer Michael Madison. Madison's been convicted on 3 counts of
Thanks to
aggravated
resub
murder
MK.
for the killing and
Thank you,
mutilation of 3
Happy
young
early
women
birthday.
in Ohio. The gruesome nature of the crime shocked the community of East Cleveland. Police found the remains of the victims in different areas of Madison's neighborhood, one in his own apartment.
There was evidence of decomposition fluid in several parts of the apartment building. There were maggots that were attached.
I
to
can't
the
watch
decomposition
the stripper
fluid.
who saved baseball.
Today, Madison finds out if he'll receive the death penalty.
I wanted to see the stripper who
As
saved
part
baseball
of the
though.
hearing, Van Terry, the father of one of
We have
Madison's
seen this, I
victims,
think.
steps up to the podium to make a victim impact statement. Mr. Terry's now just a few feet away from the man who
Yeah,
so brutally took
we
the
we
life
saw
of
this
his
one.
daughter Sherelda.
He jumps over the table.
I guess we're supposed to, in our hearts, forgive.
Authorities say Cox molested a young child. The two were alone watching television. He was charged with criminal sexual contact
Thanks for
with
the
a
5
minor
gift subs,
under
can
the
only
age of
appreciate it, man.
13.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear your subathon went well.
With the
Thanks for
trial
resub,
now
Nightcrawler.
concluded and Cox found guilty, Judge Jerry Ritter Jr. calls a bench conference with attorneys from both sides. As Deputy DA Scott Key, the man who just helped convict Cox, walks back to his seat, Cox unleashes his frustration. Cox lunges at Key, who makes a quick move before crashing into the podium. He takes a swing at Key as he hits the ground. Officer Katia Smith enters the courtroom just in time to witness the ruckus.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Pope.
She acts swiftly and attempts to restrain Cox. Key gets back on his feet and makes a run at Cox.
Good. I thought he was just gonna quit.
The melee only intensifies as a man from the gallery joins the fray. With his courtroom engulfed in chaos, Judge Ritter attempts to take control.
Judge Ritter comes in with the gavel. Let me get a shot in.
Bench and orders the room to be immediately cleared.
You cannot restrain
With the confrontation
Cox.
now over,
True.
Key pulls himself together. He takes a moment to fix a tear and then straightens up the area, even putting a trash can back
Thanks
in
for the
place.
5 gift subs, Gothic. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks to the resub. Adel and the Prime Allen.
Is finally restored. Michael Cox Jr. received 18 years for criminal sexual contact with a minor. And for his ill-advised attack on Key, the newly convicted felon picked up an additional 6 years for felony battery on a peace officer and misdemeanor aggravated battery. Both sentences will run consecutively.
Nice.
Thanks for being a fan of Court Cam. Subscribe to A&E.